You know, it's funny. Sometimes the biggest, most powerful ideas in a language are hiding in the smallest, most ordinary words. Today we're going to crack open a word you probably use 100 times a day without even thinking about it.
So let me just ask you this. What do you think is the most powerful, most useful two-letter word in the entire English language? Seriously, take a guess. Is it is? Or maybe of? In?
Well, the answer is to. I know, it seems way too simple, right? But believe me, this tiny little word is an absolute powerhouse. And by the end of this, you're going to see exactly what I mean. Okay, so try to think of to not just as a word, but as a kind of multi-tool for communication. It's like a skeleton key that can unlock actions, connect ideas, show you where to go, and even tell you how someone's feeling. It is without a doubt one of the most fundamental building blocks we've got. The secret to its power is that it has this kind of split personality. On one side, it's an action marker. It's like a little flag that tells you, hey, a verb is coming up. And on the other side, it's a preposition, this master connector that just links everything together in a sentence. Let's break down those two identities. First up, let's look at its job as an action marker. This is when it acts like the ultimate signpost for a verb. When you see to used this way, it's basically getting your brain ready for what's about to happen. And honestly, it's a super simple recipe. You just take the word to, you add an action word, like run, think, or create, and boom! You just made what grammar folks call an infinitive, which is just the most basic, plain form of any verb. So check this out. In this sentence, to doesn't really have a meaning all by itself. It's just there as a signal, a little heads up that the action word understand is on its way. It's just a little helper pointing you in the right direction. You see it all the time in sentences like, she told them to be quiet, or I don't know how to get there. In every case, to is just setting up the main action. Okay, let's switch gears and move on to its other huge job, which is acting as a preposition. And its most common, most straightforward job here is just showing direction. It's the word that answers the question, where?
Right, so when to is used for direction, it's signaling the destination. It's the end goal of some kind of movement. It's all about getting from point A to point B.
For example, where did they go? They went to school. The word to just creates this simple, really clear path from the people, they, to the place, school. It's just beautifully efficient.
But to does so much more than just point you in the right direction. As a preposition, it's this amazing connector, building these little bridges between all sorts of things in our sentences. One of its most important connecting jobs is to show us the receiver. Think about it. If you give something, who do you give it to? That little word points you directly to the person or thing that's getting the action.
Here, the word to is what makes that connection between the printer and the computer. It shows that the computer is the thing receiving the attachment. It's the same thing in a phrase like, she was married to a Canadian man. It's all about making that link. All right, now for something a little different. To can also be a tool for making comparisons. It's actually how we talk about ratios and show how two different amounts relate to each other. This is where it gets really interesting.
So when we say the ratio is 2 to 1, the word to is the pivot point in that comparison. It's the word that sets one side against the other. As you can clearly see here, for every 2 girls, there is 1 boy.
So we've covered physical stuff, we've covered math, but to can even get into the world of feelings and abstract ideas. You can use it to frame a whole statement as a personal opinion or as an emotional reaction. See how that works? The entire event, the fact that she got up and left, is filtered through the feeling of surprise. That little phrase, to their surprise, sets the emotional stage for everything that comes next. It's a really subtle but incredibly powerful use of the word. And this really proves a point, doesn't it? We often get so caught up chasing big, fancy vocabulary words when we're learning a language. But true mastery, that really lies in understanding these tiny little words that do all the heavy lifting for us. So let's just do a quick recap. We've seen how to signals an action, shows direction, tells you who receives something, makes connections, creates comparisons, and even expresses opinions. That is a ton of work for just 2 little letters. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. If a word as simple and basic as to can have so much power and do so many different things, just imagine what other secrets are hiding in plain sight in the basics of English. Makes you wonder what we should look at next, right? Thanks for tuning in.